All right, folks, game number 1 here in the semifinals for this week's Olimoleague. I guess I'll update the overlay in a moment since his name is a bit off. But top right side, we've got the Green Terran, KeeN.
In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, it is Jynaire's Rogue.
Oh, I got a great idea for this.
Yeah.
Cover for me. I gotta Google an image.
Okay. I mean, I can cover for you casting, but I can't observe anything, so.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know what you're expecting. I don't know what. You just like picked a random number on the keyboard to try and follow my camera, and it doesn't exist because there's only 2 players.
I'm doing something really dumb for Rogue's name.
All right then.
There's no stream delay, so you can probably see this if you turn the stream off.
Sure, it's gonna be worth every second.
Hopefully you guys can identify which player is which. I can go to text if you guys would like. Just let me know, chat, which is easier for you to follow.
I mean, she kind of just covers both names.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'll just use text. The pun was there, though. It was worth it.
People will get it, though. I mean, they're gonna like look at KeeN and be like, KeeN Rogue? Since when did KeeN change his name to KeeN Rogue? I think people, you
kind of
stop
sounds like
thinking there's not enough.
The quinoa. KeeN Rogue.
KeeN Rogue.
All right, there we go.
The inferior carb.
We got Rouge next to his name, but he's not playing red. That idiot. Missing out on a great opportunity for a pun.
At no point was Rogue ever red. Ever. Not even when she was sunburnt. She missed out on a great opportunity to have a color scheme.
Ah, but you know what? The Rogue in Hearthstone does wear red.
Well, Rogue from X-Men should take a note, man.
Okay, silliness aside, this is really cool. First off, we got KeeN. I love KeeN. We see KeeN all the time. He plays in every tournament. He usually makes semifinals, and heck, sometimes even wins these weekly cups. He's actually looking pretty good lately. Not amazing, and I don't want to oversell him, but he's looking better than he has in the past. So he might actually be quite the formidable foe here for Rogue. But Rogue is such a badass, and we don't see him often enough, so it makes him like a little more scary too. I mean, I love this move with the Queen, by the way. The 2 lings on the side, the Queen on the ramp, like this perfectly denies the Reaper.
Yeah, it does. Procs are pretty easy to deny the Reaper, so usually not even worth going for one. KeeN tried. Yeah, KeeN's been okay. Never really reaching to the upper heights like GSL or anything like that. Just stuck at around a 32. But Rogue had recently a really good showing, not just in GSL, which he did. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, just like on online cups, he had some really good Terran versus Zerg that was very impressive. Just as impressive as this Reaper getting in here and actually scouting a little bit. Not enough to ever be confident when he scouted, though. Yeah, I mean, the Roachborn Baneling has whatever could have been back here.
Fun fact, KeeN is using Empather.
Well,
I'm still waiting for the day to roll around where like we listen to somebody really stone cold like Innovation. He's using like Total Biscuits in the answer pack or something.
well, Innovation used Diva for a long time.
He did actually, you're right. Actually, better yet, because Total Biscuits actually got a cool accent. I wonder who's going to actually bust out Nathanius's. Which pro player will be the first one with the Nathanius voice pack? If I was a pro player, it'd be me.
Well, yeah. I mean, imagine some foreigner pro gamers already have the famous voice pack.
You know,
we were talking about Korean pro gamers.
I am, yeah. I was actually I was quoting lines from the. If you guys go to the Cast Invitational or rewatch my games, I was quoting lines from Nathanius voice pack in all chat. Nobody noticed though. I think. Nobody commented on Twitter or anything about it.
They're there. I think a lot of them are probably going to use the Korean voice pack. That's pretty exciting that they actually have. I don't know. They're not just catering to the foreigners, I suppose. They actually have a Korean one.
I just hope it's super ridiculous hype at moments, because then I would even use it.
I think that is going to be the point of it. I'm going to be interested. I'm going to see what it's like, and then maybe I'll buy it. I mean, you know, I'm the type of person that back in the day when you had to install the voice language packs yourself, like I tried installing the Korean one. That was pretty cool.
See, I'm the type of person that just is the sucker who's going to buy war chests and anything that comes out, because I'm a big fanboy.
Yeah, that's mostly what I'll do. Although I still never bought.
Oh, the drone transfer. The drone transfer. If KeeN was looking for this, oh, that could have been so many drone kills.
It was almost a bait though. Like any amount of lings screws up the Hellion shots so badly, and they were right there, waiting.
Liberator, by the way, got 0 kills, but it did get out alive.
Oh, I thought Kira's gonna one going for mech. It's actually KeeN, adding on 2 factories. I don't think I've seen KeeN go mech yet.
I love the idea that somewhere there's like a live sitting over his shoulder, just like the actual devil on his shoulder. Go mech, just taps him again. Go mech, taps him again. Play mech. Fine, I'll play mech. Leave me alone.
I feel like their relationship, what it seems like, or what they both seem like, I suppose, is more likely. I just imagine them sharing the same room, but just not talking to each other a whole lot. Like, of all the guys that I've seen, like, in lobbies talk to each other and have, like, you know, like, I feel like KeeN Alive has never been that guy. Alive's just like, okay, whatever.
Well, either way, they've been living together for a very long time now, so something works for him.
Yeah. Hey, roommates are not friends all the time. Oh, I'm not saying that's the case.
Correct.
Okay. You know, a little bit too,
a little bit too close to home, maybe? Yeah, just a little bit right now, but that's okay. Hellion's almost getting to shoot down one of these queens. I love the Thor drop, though. The double Thor drop is something we've seen Gumiho do plenty. So with how good that guy looks, if KeeN can like halfway pull this off, I'll be really impressed. He also goes for the vehicle upgrades really quickly, too. Not to say he's not going for both upgrades, but just so you guys are aware, like the Thors are already super hard to kill. It's what makes going for 2 of them at a time like this awesome. You add those armor upgrades on, and nothing tickles them.
No, it does not. This does seem to be the most popular way to play on Proxima specifically, but also just with mech. You definitely see it first from Gumiho. It's pretty cool stuff, the development of a matchup and all that. Now, Rogue, he has scouted the factories. He knows it's mech, but it already, I guess, just committed to Ling upgrades. And more often than not, you just see them continue with it, because Banelings aren't actually that bad to have. I think you want to transfer away from them eventually, as they also transfer away from just mass Hellion Thor. But originally, they don't seem too bad, so just keeping the upgrade and then adding on +1 missile attack, triple upgrade. Don't see that too often. And
No.
Ling Baneling Hydra composition.
Oh, I just realized that Liberator from earlier, it did get patched up. Now it's ready to escort those Thors in. The Hydras are going to be really good at possibly shooting down the medevacs. So that's the best way they're going to stop this. They'll still deal a fair amount of damage to the Thors. This is certainly not like using Lings and Queens. This won't be worth it for KeeN. It really won't. It's too dangerous. You know, what sucks about this too is a big part of what he was doing with the Viking was trying to clear the path so that you wouldn't see this coming. But it's like Rogue knew what was up.
Well, it is a difficult thing to do with Overlord's speed to clear up all the Overlords, and as I saw, we both recognize it as something that's very popular to do. Rogue knows what's up too. So expecting the double Thor drop is going to be what we should expect from TvZs whenever someone goes mech. Just the double Thor drop not being nearly as powerful as, say, when Gumiho uses it. It also was a timing issue, to be honest. Like, by the time I think Gumiho usually has it drop the main, they're, like, barely getting to Hydras. More likely they have roaches trying to protect it, and that's when the Thors will look a little bit better.
Nice cancel on the 5th, but he's got to get the heck out of there. Swarm host coming up. So, I'm still really jaded on this. Korean Swarm host use has not yet impressed me, and it always seems to get out a little bit late. It doesn't provide the correct amount of pressure, and they use them wrong. But Rogue is like... I feel like Rogue really is like one of the better Zerg that you don't count on a lot of the time because he's not nearly around as often. He's not in our face the same way a lot of others are. Like you see Dark streaming all the time, for example, and you get these other names really put in front of your face. That's not Rogue. He only plays in like SSL. But I think I've got some faith in him to use these.
I'm not sure. Actually, as the grand scheme of things, I've not really been impressed with Swarm hosts in general. Like, a couple of players use them okay, or they get in a good position and they come back or something like that, but even, like, some of the Europeans and the North Americans have just been like, okay, well, Swarm hosts did their job, I guess, maybe. It wasn't the most OP thing I've ever seen, which is what a lot of people considered it to be, and a big reason as to why, you wouldn't go mech, but that has changed in the last couple of months.
Well, the Thor change helped a lot with just having these be more durable for how expensive they are. Locust will still melt anything they get their hands on, but You pair up a sturdy Thor and some blue flame Hellions, you wash off these locusts, and yeah, I mean, they don't even get damaged done before they land. A little bit of friendly fire was what most of that damage was just now.
Yeah. But if they're going to be sieged up, turtling on a 4th base, building a 5th, then sure, use the locust try and get a little bit of damage done. They probably won't be getting much more. There is a section on Proxima you can get into the main base, but it's dangerously close to the 4th now. And maybe they get attacked by natural from the other 4th, but that's also a bit dangerous. Yeah. Double Spire, Hive. This could be a very long game indeed, because no one's really looking to be too aggressive.
Well, Hydras are doing a pretty good job policing the creep. I will say one of the worst parts for KeeN, regardless of what these locusts are doing, that one's better than the last wave at least. One of the hardest parts for KeeN is he has let creep spread get really out of control. He was trying his best to police this earlier with the Hellions, and even with that in consideration, this still just like got across the map. Baneling's looking to crash in on top of the Hellbats. The tanks were not ready for this. He splits a little bit last second, but he needs these Hellbats to live. He needs these for the locusts. Yeah. Hellions and Hellbats are so valuable at this point, more so than tanks, I would argue.
The Banelings even crashed into a fair number of tanks the last second there, so that is going to be a full-out retreat from KeeN, realizing the Swarmos are now a super big problem. By retreating, I mean, you time out their life, you know, halfway, so even if they do land, hopefully it's not as bad. They're almost entirely gone already. And there are enough Hellions and Hellbats reinforcing, of course, so it's going to be the quickest reinforcement unit with quadruple Hellions. He's added on more factories so that if that push did not really work out, he can produce pretty fast behind it. And he has all these extra command centers. I mean, you know, that push, you were maxed out. You had to clear up the creep spread. You had to try, especially before they had Vipers. But it did not work. And the game continues. KeeN even checking to see what economy looks like for a Zerg player. It's okay, but it's not overwhelming.
50 Banelings just got finished making, so sitting here close to 60 now is overall count. If the tanks are sieged up, this Banelings are going to be worthless, but they're not. And once again, the Hellbats are on the front line. This is a problem. This is a big problem. Even the tanks could take a lot of damage from this. Those locusts are going to clean this up, absolutely no problem. KeeN just lost his army.
KeeN just, Well, I mean, losing so much to the Banelings is an obvious problem. That's one thing that should just not be happening, at least not twice in a row. You know, there's always that surprise effect. Thor's killing a base, though. This is some nice damage. But I was also going to just comment on, you know, if you're going to play like to 6, 7 bases or whatever it is that KeeN's getting to, I would have expected you not just to wait for 3-3, but also to wait for the upgrades plus a higher Viking count, plus, like, actually starting to transition into mass air. I mean, he's turtling, so that's what I expected, but he's kind of trying to push, too.
Rogue's blowing me away here. Like, every time I see Banelings in the production tab, it's 50 or more. This is like his third round of 50 Banelings. I mean, the units lost won't reflect it because of the way, you know, they friendly fire / kill themselves, but, like, seriously, there's, like, going to have been at least 150 to 200 Banelings made, all within the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, KeeN, he might expand a lot, is looking to be aggressive continuously, just trying to reinforce. Tries to soak up the Banelings with the Thors. A bad idea. Splits once again for his tanks. I mean, mass Baneling should not be working out as well as it is. But I think every time KeeN's like, surely he doesn't have 50 Banelings this time. And he's just never quite prepared enough. So now he's without Hellbats again, and Swarmhosts are scary.
I think what I'm most worried about too, KeeN, you kind of brought up air for a moment, ignoring that for just a sec. He's bleeding out slowly and never quite getting that maxed out supply. He's doing a good job dodging the Locust, right? He's doing the best he can to stop those Banelings from rolling in on him. But all things considered, as much as KeeN's army is the one that keeps getting blown up, the resources lost are still like surprisingly close. And I guess one thing we haven't really talked about is Rogue is like with 50 Banelings at a time, 30 this time, 20 now, so it's gonna be 50 again. This is so much gas he's investing into to kill a couple of, well, not gas units with Hellbats. This is a huge catch, by the way, picking all these off. This is big.
It is a snowball effect, though, because usually with the Banelings are being just overmade and overused, you see a great disparity in the resources lost, and that's really not the case. I mean, they're pretty even actually, although now I guess Rogue's a little farther up there, but yeah, it's a snowball effect. You kill the Hellbats and then the Swarm Hosts are finally able to do their job. So it's worked out about 4 or 5 times now. It'll continue to work out 6, 7, 8 times.
He's starting to break some of the Hydras. I mean, KeeN needs to do something. He knows this too. To let Rogue just have an economy that lets him make 50 banelings every odd second, like, that's not acceptable, and I think he recognizes it. So he really, on a lower army supply, pushes deep on the creep. He's going for the base kill. He wants to stop some of this income, but now Vipers are in play. Abducts are going to be happening. Blinding Clouds are going to be happening.
Yeah, Locust get on top of the tanks even without the baneling roll in first because there simply weren't any Hellbats anymore, and this is just absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, actually, this is really bad for KeeN too. I realize now that the Thors were taken out, he didn't remake them. You mentioned no air, so he actually doesn't have any anti-armored, much less anti-air to kill the Vipers.
Yeah, it's, you know, it was such a long game on Hive without Vipers that I almost was like, okay, I guess KeeN realized that, and that's why I never got a Viking count. But I don't know, the pacing of his mech game, you know, it feels very off. Like I was talking about earlier, he gets a bunch of extra orbitals, he gets a bunch of extra factories, but tries to push too. Whereas I feel like, you know, 100% Gumiho has recognized the time has come and gone, and is like on his way to starports and just like supreme turtle mode. Where KeeN tried to be aggressive, and Rogue just didn't have that much of a problem with it.
No, he really didn't. Logan's coming in once again. No Hellbats to save these tanks.
KeeN's got to recognize how much of a difficult spot he's in. Up until I think the last fight and a half, I suppose, like, he's been able to remax slowly but steadily. Wow. His income has been steady. But now he certainly can't, and his income's not steady anymore.
The max there is really with like an asterisk next to it. I don't think he's ever been over like 180 supply this game.
Really? I thought he got maxed out for his like first 3 pushes. Wow.
I think the Locusts just kept whittling away at him.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, it's maxed is the intention. When he pushes forward, and then they're supposed to rally forward with doing
He pulls the SCVs away. He could have maybe saved the planetary. I don't know, Locust damage is pretty good. Pulling SCVs may have been smarter. Haley's cleared up the link run by. Rogue not getting much done now in terms of harass, and KeeN is getting that army supply back up. Slowly, but it's happening. A couple units in the air now too, and that Thor's back up. So he's got some potential anti-air. Those Vipers are still a big danger. Blinding Clouds probably more than anything else.
Well, the Hellbats trying to slip the last second, but once again taken out by the Banelings. Blinding Clouds on a very pumped up section of tanks, but it does go away pretty quickly nowadays. And now the Locusts come in. Run tanks. KeeN's just not finding any foothold here.
One thing KeeN has not been doing this game that he can't do anymore, but I would have loved to have seen earlier, there's no Locust baits. Locusts are programmed to attack the first thing they find in range, right? So you put a Thor on the ground, let them all dive the Thor, then pick it up and boost away. Like, there's a lot of way these Locust waves, and this is, by the way, a big part of why European Zerg players stagger them, so that when that happens, you've still got another round to come out. By using them all at a time like this, there's like a big opportunity here for him to shut down those Locusts before they even really get anything done. With just a little bit of micro, but there's no really any medevacs left, I think, right? Just the one? Just the one. He just made this, too.
Yeah.
A lot of tanks, not a lot of Hellions. KeeN's hungry. He doesn't have a lot of money, and his bases are mining out. He's in a pretty bad way right now, and he needs to take this base, but the creep block from the Overlord of Rogue is huge.
Yep, simply denying that base is a lot of KeeN's potential economy. And there's not many other bases he can take easily. Big Locust Thrall on top of his would-be 5th. It could just lift, which is the good news about having an orbital, but the SCVs would die. Or the tanks will die trying to protect it.
Tank Senpai.
Go down.
This Thor did kill the hatchery down here. And trying to trade up for some mutas on the way out. Oh, that was risky. I think trading up for the Banelings would have been better than trading up for the mutas. But hey, Passive Crimes, thank you for the 36-month resub. Enjoy your live shout-out for once. A lot of Banelings used up on the first couple tanks. Got those Blinding Clouds coming in, but the tanks are in siege so they can walk out of them. Locusts are going to be too dangerous, and I think this is just finally going to be the end of KeeN. I mean, he's got no money to remake another army.
I mean, for the first 2 or 3,
oh no,
he
Lynx!
was
These guys
able to get an army, but these last 6 battles just been constantly losing out on supply.
The fact that he burrows the Zerglings denying that command center, like, you can't even start dropping mules. This is so bad. KeeN, I love you, man, but I don't think you got it in you at this point. There's no money, 106 supply. He's gonna make like maybe one last attack with these units, but there's no way. There's just no way.
No, there isn't. Not the most convincing mech play in general. I mean, besides Rogue having his own interesting bailing way of dealing with it, I just thought KeeN wasn't too impressive with it.
I'm actually most disappointed here, and this is like, I know Riff can calm down, but he never transformed his Thors at any point, and single target Thors are just so bad in general. And what's worse than that too is like he didn't have them then with the range to snipe the Vipers, the range or the damage to get the shots off in a big burst. But we also missed Incorruptible Lizard. Thank you for the 10-month resub. I'm Olimoleague. I've hacked every Twitch account. To prove this, I'll post this message from other accounts. Kappa. Master Tom, thank you for that 7-month resub as well. And I think that catches us up. Let's get into game number 2. It's still the Olimoleague. This is the semifinals. I'm sorry there's no helpful brackets there on the stream, guys. This is done intentionally to avoid spoilers because we don't know the results and we don't want you guys to either. Just enjoy the games here, because even though they are replays, they are hot off the press. This is from earlier this morning. Spawning here on the top left, he's down 1 game. It's KeeN.
In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is Rogue.
All right, I think Rogue played that out. Oh, I don't even know how to describe this. Like, he macroed well is the way I want to phrase that. There's a lot of hiccups from KeeN that allowed him to just get away with so many bases. Like, whenever a Zerg player has enough money, right, to make 50 banelings every, like, 30 seconds to a minute, you know you've let them get too far away with their economy.
Yeah. I don't think it's a very common option for Zerg players to just keep on making 50 banelings like 4 or 5 times. So that definitely had something to do with just KeeN being overwhelmed 4 or 5 times. But I don't know there's much else you can do about the economy. You know, if you go up to 3 bases super quickly, and then a 4th base super quickly, and even a 5th base is added on pretty quickly for KeeN, then of course the Zerg player is going to be also getting away with his own expansions. It's just the way that's going to go. You can't both expand rapidly and have a very convincing army, especially with mech, because mech isn't based off of pressure with low amounts of units. It's based off of a big attack later on that he tried doing that should have looked better, but you don't see 50 banelings and you're clumped up and not spread, then so be it. That kind of sucks, but it's the way that it went. I think KeeN looks at that map again, looks at the replay, and he's just like, well, damn, like I should have at least traded better than what I had, and he just did not. But we have a Roachborn on the way now for Rogue, so a long, convincing game that was almost always 100% on Rogue's side. Doesn't want to play a long game again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the Ravager version, do you think? It's gotta be, right?
Well, I don't think any Roach push really attacks without Ravagers nowadays. So.
I mean, that's true. I meant like the all-in, like the dedicated, I want to kill this guy. For KeeN, man, if he scouts, whoops, hotkeys. If he scouts this, obviously he can start like immediately getting, say, Cyclones over Hellions or a tank or a Banshee or just literally anything. But right now, that Reaper's staying at home because he doesn't want 2 Lynx to walk across the map and kill the SCV building the command center. Really, it's gonna be a lot of Roaches coming across the map looking to kill KeeN, and I don't know, Zombie Grove. This could be so bad. If KeeN can shut this down, you know, there's no way to really come back from a Ravager all-in. Not economically, usually. But KeeN's going to have to pull off some magic, straight up. There's nothing produced from this factory. And it's going to be 2 Hellions, not 2 Cyclones. Those aren't going to cut it.
His Reaper did a fun job, I guess, of catching the Lings where it did, but it just still got distracted way far away from its main scouting path. Now going back to it, but obviously only halfway across the map, you see these Roaches. It's still Ravagers, actually, they already made. That's not a good sign at all. And, you know, at least you can see the Roaches, and they have to wait those extra seconds to turn to Ravagers. Like, this isn't even that case.
Okay, well,
Sees Ravager.
Identifying this late, he does start making some Cyclones. This could work. Unfortunately, those Cyclones are not that great against Ravagers because they're not armored units.
Well, that's true. I mean, they don't like hard counter in the strictest of the use of the word, but Cyclone's just good against these types of units.
Oh, losing the reactors, pretty tough.
If he had been able to save it, 2 Cyclones probably lives long, like gives him enough space to breathe, but 1 and it's almost dead already. The other one does pop out.
He is getting some counterattack damage on their side of the map. Oh, this Master Repair is not going to cut it if those Cyclones get hit by Corrosive Biles. SCV's pulled into the fray, but this doesn't look good for KeeN.
Yeah, that's probably game. If 2 Cyclones live, they can be microed, they can just, stay on the
know
high
what,
ground.
though?
They should take care of this.
I was going to say, it looks like he'll clean this up with the 2 Marauders. Cancels the bunker. SCV count is still pretty much in the gutter, though.
Yeah, I mean, this hits as you're turning that into an orbital command, so it's not like you've been producing a lot of SCVs in the first place.
Oh man, that took so long to clean up.
Yeah, it did. You look at the slow links coming in here, killing 2 out of 13 SCVs.
Actually, a Marauder can't even deal with these. GG. All right, Rogue takes a nice clean 2-0, and that'll send him on to the finals. We do have the other semifinals match to cast, however, so guys, sit tight. We'll be back in a second as, what's it going to be? It's Cure versus Billowy. Cool. All right, we'll see you guys here in 2 minutes.